My client requested a Patrick Mahomes haircut. So today I'm going to be teaching y'all how to do a burst fade. Let's get right into it. So to start with, we're going to go in with our 1.5 guard closed. We're going to flick out and we're going to go in a curved shape. We're going to flick out so that we don't dig too much into his bulk and we can create that bursted effect for the burst fade. Right now I'm using my Stylecraft Instinct clipper. This clipper is super powerful. It powered through his coarse hair and debulked it really well. Like I mentioned earlier, when you're doing this step, you don't want to dig into the bulk. You want to flick out as much as you can depending on how the client wants his haircut shaped. Notice right here I'm flicking out once again. Now sit back, relax until we get on to the next step. Now we're going to go ahead and make our trimmer guideline. I'm using the Stylecraft Instinct trimmer as well. To make this guideline, I start at the end of the eyebrow and then go from the bottom of the neck and curve it right around the ear so that you can get that bursted effect. Now we're going to go ahead and bald this out completely. This is a really important step in the fading process. You want this fade to look as blurry as possible, and this is one of those little details that you must hit completely. So go ahead, go in and bald your client completely out.
That's horrible. Eyebrow.
Now we're going to go in with our clipper completely open. This means that the lever is all the way down, and we're going to create about a 1/2 inch guideline. Notice how I'm following that first guideline in that curved shape, and I'm also flicking out so that I don't create another harsh guideline. Now we're going to go in with the clipper closed, and we're going to hit about a 1/4 way through that guideline, and then we're going to open the clipper halfway and we're going to hit through the rest of the guideline. For those of y'all that don't know, the clipper closed means that the lever is all the way up pointed to the roof, and halfway just means that that lever is halfway in between open and closed. And now we're just going to do some lever play to really blend that guideline out. This is really important, especially when you're a beginning barber, to realize that you're going to have to use your lever to get that blend to look blurry. This is all about experience, and you'll get better as you go. Now we're going to follow up that baldness with the shaver. This gets it down completely to the skin. Like I mentioned, shaving the bald is going to really make this fade look blurry. Once you get close to that clipper open guideline, you want to flick the shaver out, and you don't want to apply too much pressure, as that'll create another harsh guideline that'll be hard to get rid of later. Now I'm going to go back in with my trimmer, and we're just going to hit some of the details. I'm going over the C cup right now. Notice how I'm going kind of in a curved motion. I start at the top and then go from the bottom and then just follow in a C motion. I also see a little line down below where we use the shaver, so this is how you get that line out. You go back in with the trimmer and just tap it with the corners of the trimmer. When you're doing a haircut like a burst fade, it's super important to focus on the details. This ensures that you have a really blurry fade and that your client doesn't see any lines left in the haircut, and it overall just makes you a quality barber. Now I'm going to go back in with my 1.5 guard closed. This is just to touch up that area that we started earlier. I saw some dark spots, and I also saw some bulk that I didn't want. So once again, I'm going to flick out, kind of get the shape that I want, and just create a solid foundation for this fade.
Nowhere. Nowhere. Look, yeah.
Now we're going to throw on our 1/2 guard or our 0 guard, and we're going to put that lever about halfway, and we're going to hit about a 1/2 inch through that dark spot. This is what's really going to start bringing that fade together, and you're going to see the blend from light to dark. As I move up in the fade, I'm going to open up the clipper. This ensures that I'm not pushing up the fade too high. Also notice how I'm using the corners during this part of the haircut. Using your corners with the 1/2 guard is really important so that we don't push up the fade too high and that we can get a crisp, blurry outcome. My client requested a V shape or a point on the back of his haircut, just like Patrick Mahomes has. So we're going to go in with the trimmer, and we're going to start at the bottom of that fade, and we're going to work this down in a straight line, angled towards a V. Once we create this crisp V look, we're going to go ahead and bald out the rest of the neck hairs right here. When doing this step, it's really important to use your mirror. When using the mirror within this step, you're going to be able to tell if the V is even on both sides. This is really important to bring the fade together as well as the overall look of the haircut. Once again, I'm going to follow this up with the shaver. This ensures that it gets the hair all the way down to the skin, and it really just is an extra detail that makes the haircut even crisper. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on his hairline. He didn't want an edge up completely at the front, but he did want an edge up underneath his bang area. So we're going to go ahead and put some clips on, and we're going to use our 1.5 guard lever closed, and we're going to go with the grain of his hair right here. This debulks the hairline, so it makes it easier to line up. Now I'm going to put some hold on spray. This is just like some hairspray. It'll make the edge up look crispy, and it'll hold the hairs while I do the edge up. Now I'm going to go in and do the edge up. I usually start on the left corner and work my way to the right. Like I mentioned earlier, it's really important to use the mirror on this step as well, just to make sure that your eyes aren't playing tricks on you and that the hairline is actually straight. Right here, I'm just going to go back in and touch some extra details with my clippers. I noticed some dark spots in the fade and maybe a little line, so I'm just going to go over that. Usually when I go back to detail, I go back in at the very end of my haircut like I am right here. Just after the edge up, I noticed some spots that I needed to touch up, so that's what we're doing right here. You don't want to get caught up too early in the haircut focusing on too many details, as this will make your haircut last a long time. We don't want to be taking too long on our haircuts. Our clients have things to do. They have busy lives. We want to make sure they get a detailed haircut, but we don't want them to be in the chair all day. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave my client back in the chair, and we're going to do some straight razor work. This is going to make the edge up pop. Notice how I'm stretching the skin in the opposite direction of the razor when I am using the razor. I feel like this is a super important part of the haircut as well. I feel like it gives that extra pop to the haircut, and it shows the client that you're really into the details and you're really taking their time with the haircut. Now I'm going to go ahead and show my client the finished result and make sure that he's cool with what we did and make any adjustments if he didn't like the haircut. And then we're going to take the cape off and we're going to go ahead and clean up his neck hairs. Once again, you want to make sure that you clean up all the neck hairs and be really detailed on this step. A lot of barbers skip out on this step, or they just aren't very detailed with it. You want to make sure you get all the hair off the neck and behind the ears, as well as the sideburns if they request it. If you focus on these little details right here, you're already going to be beating 50% of barbers on their services, because it shows the client that you care about them. These are the things that the clients really pay attention to. Now we're going to go ahead and touch up everything once again with the shaver. And after that, I'm gonna go in with some of my level 3 aftershave and spray down the client. It may burn them a little bit, but it's good to disinfect their skin and close up those pores, and it also smells pretty good and leaves them refreshed. Y'all check out this transformation that my client got. He really got that burst fade look. He wanted to look like Patrick Mahomes. He said his favorite football team's the Chiefs, so you know we had to get him right. I hope some of y'all guys found this video insightful. If y'all have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If y'all have any more haircuts that y'all want to see, make sure to drop them down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the notification bell and subscribe. And I'll see y'all guys in the next video.